What if I told you that a private banking cartel controls your money, your government, and your future? That behind every major war, economic collapse, and lost generation lies the same hidden hand. This is the true story of the Federal Reserve, a story of secret meetings, assassinated leaders, and nations destroyed for resisting financial tyranny. Welcome to Stealth Wealth, where we expose the hidden force is shaping your world. In 1910, the most powerful bankers in America, men like Paul Warburg, Nelson Aldrich, and representatives of J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller met in absolute secrecy on Jekyll Island, Georgia. Their mission to create a private central bank that would control the U.S. money supply. The result was the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, passed quietly just before Christmas when most Congress members had gone home. The Fed was sold to the public as a way to stabilize the economy. In reality, it gave private bankers the power to create money out of nothing and lend it to the government with interest. The Titanic and opposition to the Fed. Now here's a chilling twist. Among those who opposed the creation of the Fed were Benjamin Guggenheim, Isidor Straus, and John Jacob Astor, three of the richest men in America at the time. All three died on the Titanic just 1 year before the Federal Reserve was created. Coincidence? Maybe, but the Titanic was owned by J.P. Morgan, who canceled his own trip last minute. These were men who stood in the way of a centralized banking system. And conveniently, they were removed. War as a business. Once the Fed was established, wars became profitable. World War I, the U.S. enters the war in 1917. The Fed prints billions. Banks finance both sides. American taxpayers pay the bill. World War II, same pattern. Massive money creation, huge debt, and again, the bankers win. Iraq, Afghanistan, wars justified by lies. Trillions borrowed, printed, and spent enriching contractors and collapsing currencies. Why endless war? Because debt is profitable, especially when you're the one printing the money and charging interest on it. Who opposed the Fed? Throughout history, brave leaders have opposed this system and paid the price. John F. Kennedy, in 1963, he signed Executive Order 11,110, aiming to give the U.S. Treasury the power to issue silver-backed dollars, bypassing the Fed. Months later, he was assassinated. Thomas Jefferson warned, if the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, the banks and corporations will deprive the people of all property. Ron Paul, Andrew Jackson, even Lincoln all warned against centralized banking, but most people don't listen until it's too late. Now let's talk about leaders outside the West who dared to challenge the system. Muammar Gaddafi planned a gold-backed African currency to free Africa from the IMF and dollar hegemony. NATO bombed Libya into the Stone Age. Gaddafi was killed. Saddam Hussein announced in 2000 that Iraq would sell oil in euros, not dollars. Within 3 years, weapons of mass destruction, lies, invasion, regime change. Adolf Hitler, whatever your views on him, Germany under Hitler created a debt-free currency and rejected the global banking system. Result: war with the entire world. The lesson is clear. Oppose the dollar system and you become a target. And what about you? You work 9 to 5, save dollars, pay taxes, and year after year your money buys less. Because the Fed prints trillions backed by nothing, inflation is just legalized theft. Your savings shrink. Your house gets more expensive. Your wage stays flat. Meanwhile, bankers get bailouts and bonuses. You're not just in a rat race. You're on a treadmill they control. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is documented history. The Federal Reserve is not federal, and it has no reserves. It's a private bank, run for profit, that has hijacked the American economy and, by extension, the world. Understanding this system is step 1. Step 2, decentralize your life. Buy real assets like gold, silver, and crypto. If you found this eye-opening, you know what to do. Subscribe to Stealth Wealth, where we expose the truths they don't want you to know. Leave a comment, share this video, and stay sovereign. This isn't about left or right. It's about freedom or slavery.